Other changes, such as decorating the house or getting a cup of coffee, are seen as easy, effortless changes. The purpose of this book is to turn this notion right on its head. I'm here to show you that all changes, regardless of their nature, can be easy and effortless if you allow them to be and work in accordance with greater universal laws. Let me explain with a personal example. Most people struggle with exercising, losing weight and getting fit. But this was a transition that I eased into easily. The catalyst for change came one day when I fell at work. Thankfully, while I sustained no injuries from that painful encounter, my fall made me realize that I was neglecting my overall fitness. It prompted me to take action, and the universe supported me beautifully in my new endeavor. A few days later, the exercise equipment I ordered online was delivered to my house, and I have kept at my exercise routine ever since, working out for 45 minutes on most days despite my schedule. I'm still amazed by the ease of it all. I've never once had to struggle with issues of willpower or with any conflicting feelings within myself. I easily stepped into the new desired reality of a fitter me once I set the intention to do it. On the other hand, achieving financial freedom was a difficult change for me. I struggled with each step along the way. First with curbing my urge to overspend, and with the willpower required to work out a budget and stick to it. Then I struggled with all of the conflicting feelings of worry, blame, worthiness, and guilt that I heaped onto myself. Why did the process seem so easy for everyone else except me? Why could my friends all handle a budget well, while I could not? Why can other people stop worrying about money, but not me? I spent many years mirrored in this form of self-critical thinking before I finally stepped out of it. Over the years, I realized that the goal of financial freedom is the ultimate goal for people in our modern society. This is natural since money has become synonymous with a good life and with the various things we can do with it. Without money to do whatever we want, we feel restricted in our enjoyment of life. I certainly understand what it feels like to be worried about money all the time, worrying about whether we can have enough to enjoy a good meal or the fun experience we so desire. I understand how restricting it feels to be worried about money all the time, which is why I have decided to write this series of books. As I worked with individuals over the years, I realized that achieving financial independence probably ranks at the top in terms of perceived difficulty. If you ask people to rate how difficult each of their goals were, you would find that earning money and becoming rich rate amongst the most difficult. Why is that so? We have all been conditioned by society and by our parents to believe that making money is difficult and that it is somehow bad to have lots of money. There is so much emotional baggage associated with the subject of money that all this affects our vibrations when we actually try to manifest it. Without dealing with the contradictory vibrations effectively, we will never address the cause of the problem and create lasting manifestation success. I have often taught that what we consider to be the problem or the issue is seldom the real issue in itself. For example, while we may perceive money to be the root cause of the problem, it is rarely the true cause. Most of us do not have any issue with money itself, with the very pieces of paper and metal we are trying to ultimately manifest. Many of us, however, have truckloads full of contradictory beliefs and vibrations surrounding the subject of money. We all have set up certain expectations for ourselves regarding how easy or how difficult it would be to earn this money, the means through which we can acquire it, and what other people would think about us if we had it. All of these create actual impediments and obstacles when manifesting money. If one has a way to deal with these obstacles or sticking points that stand between themselves and their manifestations, their desired reality will come into being very, very quickly. As I look back at how I manifested a fitter me, I realized that the topic of exercising is one which I have very little emotional baggage on. This is also the same reason why I have paid little attention to this part of my life in the past. So in a way, whatever little attention I paid to this aspect of my life helped, because when I finally decided to change this part of my life, there were no old beliefs that I had to overcome. I did not have long-held beliefs about how easy or how difficult the process was going to be, or how logical it was to ask for what I wanted. I freed myself from all rules and all expectations. Think about how it would be like to live in a universe where you freed yourself from all expectations, rules, and beliefs about money. Would you be able to manifest riches and financial abundance at will? Definitely. Would you be able to manifest them in an instant? Faster than the time it takes to read this sentence? Of course. I'm even willing to wager that in your universe right now, there are certain principles, there are certain areas of your life in which this principle is working out beautifully. Think of an area in your life where change happens effortlessly, a particular area where you can just decide to have something and make it happen without minimal fuss. This is the feeling of ease and flow that I'm talking about here. If it can happen in one area of your life, then why not in every single area, including the area of finances? There are two ways in which people often get stuck and tripped up by a recurring issue in their life. The first, as we have addressed earlier, is their deeply embedded belief that the situation is difficult to change, or that change will be difficult. For example, they may erroneously believe that just because they've had the problem for so long, or just because everyone else thinks it's a difficult problem, that the same must apply to them as well. Look at how society views the treatment of certain diseases. We have all formed societal expectations about how some diseases are easy to cure, while others are incurable. All of these societal norms and expectations go on to affect our vibrations and hence our outcome. The second way in which individuals trip themselves up is by their continued focus on the problem or issue. They keep talking about it, telling others about it, and analyzing it over and over again in their minds. Their reasons for operating in this manner, of course, seems completely valid. When I worried about my finances in the past, I too saw a need to worry continuously about them in an attempt to find solutions for them. Of course I have to worry about my finances. I'm finding a solution to the problem, was a common excuse I used to rationalize my worrying. But understand that therein lies the biggest irony. Your continued operation in problem-solving mode is what perpetuates the problem in the first place. Your continued fixation on the problem is what causes it to persist consistently in your reality. This is probably the hardest part for most people to get, but once you understand it, the solution is obvious. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to stop thinking about it and to think about something else completely. If you can train yourself to do so, then what you'll find, as I've written about so many times, is that the issue resolves itself automatically. The issue ceases to become so big of an issue in your life, and it stops bothering you as much. But most people have trouble operating in this manner, even though it is in line with the highest universal truths, because they have not functioned in this way before. They have been taught all through their lives that the way to solve a problem is to tackle it head on, to think about it relentlessly, and to take a bull by its horns. Understand that this way of functioning, when it comes to handling many of life's long-standing issues, is actually counterproductive and unnecessary. For the first 10 years in which I was a student of these metaphysical principles, I frequently tried to solve the problem or correct the issues in my life through the use of everything I had learned. When things worked, the results were sporadic, and things usually returned to their old state a few days or weeks later. This form of regression is common in beginner students of this material, no matter what subject matter we are dealing with. Why is that so? When a regression occurs, when there's a recurring pattern in your life, it points to the existence of some form of unconscious belief that you're holding on to. These unconscious beliefs are the root cause of the issue, which is continually causing you to think, feel, and react in a certain way, which only leads to a continued perpetuation of the issue. Sometimes this form of operating in the world can be so entrenched that we do not even realize we are acting in this manner day in and day out. If someone had told me I was acting unconsciously in certain parts of my life, I would have brushed them off. I shared several anecdotes in my book Banned Money Secrets, which talks about various ways in which you can apply manifestation principles to the specific subject of manifesting more money in your life. My focus for this book is somewhat different. This is a book that changes you as you read it. In fact, this is the first book I have written in this manner, which is why I want you to read it with your heart rather than with your head. Try to focus less on the physical words I use and more on the spiritual essence of what I'm trying to convey. Try to focus less on the physical words I use and more on the spiritual essence of what I'm trying to convey. Be cognizant that when we are dealing with intangible and timeless spiritual principles, there may not be adequate physical words or expressions to convey what I mean. Therefore, what I've done here, as with many other spiritual teachers, is to use the closest physical equivalent words and phrases, even going to the extent of inventing certain words to explain certain concepts when needed. Words such as manifestative state and manifester are words that have come to me in the past as I try to convey certain concepts. And I trust that your higher self will spontaneously understand what I'm trying to say as you read them. What I've done for this book is to set an intention that the highest and best is done for each reader, according to the circumstances in your life with regards to money. In writing this book, I've invited the universe to write it with me and to express/convey whatever is necessary through me for the fulfillment of your highest good. I have also requested that the universe convey this information not only through words, but also beyond the level of physical words. Therefore, as you read this book, one part of you will be picking up on the logical meaning of what I am trying to convey. Your rational mind will be processing the arguments which I make. But the larger part of you, your higher self, will also be receiving intangible information or energetic vibrations that is just right for you. I intend that you receive the highest and best in line with what is needed to manifest financial abundance in your life. As a scientific person, I used to shun any form of nonverbal communication until I realized their significance in our lives. While verbal communications form a large part of our language and our interactions with others, the great spiritual masters have always taught that nonverbal communication exists as well. This means that we are often picking up on the thoughts and intentions of others whether we realize it or not. Your mind is like a transmitter and a receiver of frequencies, and it is receiving and transmitting information, whether you are conscious of this or otherwise. When pieces of information spontaneously pop in your mind and appear in your awareness, understand that they may have come from the universe. A larger part of us is always communicating and at one with the universal mind. I encourage you to experience all this for yourself as you read this book. As you are reading it, I encourage you to try to achieve nothing in particular. Give up all your goals or desires. Give up your need to solve any problems in your life. Give up your need to try and find a solution. Give up the need to do something. Give up the need to do the right thing or find the right way. Give all of that up. Instead, in the time that we are together, let your mind wander as you read this book. Let it think about whatever it pleases. Let your body do whatever it pleases. Read this book in the utmost state of relaxation and ease, not wanting to go somewhere else or do something to make something happen. Read it with a completely relaxed state of mind, at peace and at ease with wherever you are at this moment in your life. Where you are right now is exactly where you need to be in your life. And if you'll begin reading in this non-reactive state and remain in this non-reactive state, you may find certain answers or paths spontaneously lightening up for you. You will be given clear impulses or clear directions to turn towards. You will be given crystal clear nudges by the universe. The resulting changes will be easy and effortless, but don't force any of it. Nothing ever comes through force or exertion or trying to control. If you can force your way through everything, then you would have forced your way through the situation and obtained whatever it is that you wanted. So ease off and let go of the need to force your will on anything. Let go of the need to surrender as well. There is neither the need to force nor the need to surrender. Instead, just be who you are. Be right where you are as you read this book. You are not reading this book to solve a particular problem in your life. You are reading this book to feel good now. And if you can remain in this manifestative state, then you would have transformed by the end of this book with no effort at all needed on your part. You would have stepped into your natural goodness in which dollars flow to you easily.